Hello, welcome back, Steve's Retirement Corner. I'm a product of the last century. This kind of explains that other question Mary had for me about buying a vehicle. Kind of why I would decide to buy a new vehicle, or not necessarily a new one. I always say new because it's new to me, but another vehicle. And I told her that it come down to reliability and maintenance. For reliability, man, I just kind of wanted to expand on things is all. Because it was true what I told her. I try to be short in my answers. And sometimes I don't know that the real meaning of it comes across. And I don't know if this is going to help any. But we're going to do it anyways. But for reliability, man, and it comes down to the fact, hey, man, am I comfortable with kind of getting in the car, driving across town, and coming back and not be stranded? If I am, we don't get one. And if I ain't, well, then we start looking for another one. It's a safety issue, really. We live in a good neighborhood, man. We live in a good area. We really do. It suits me to a T because nothing really goes on here. But hey, man, bad things happen to good people all the time, and I figure, why take a chance? So, and for the maintenance thing, it's a two-parter, really. Is it nickel and diming me to death? Is it every month or every couple of months, man, I got to put $200 or $300 in it to keep it on the highway? Or am I spending more time working on it than I am driving it? If I am, well, then something's got to change, Doc. That's and then the second part is the cost of fixing it. Hey, man, if it's $500, man, I might look at getting something else, but I'm probably going to stay with what I got, just get it fixed. But spending $10,000 to fix a 20-year-old vehicle just doesn't make sense to me. I don't know what my number is, the cutoff line. It could be $1,000, it could be $3,000. I don't know. But I darn sure know when they give me an estimate on that sucker. I can tell you that. And I think the way it is the reason that is we do a lot of things that way. That's kind of the process we go through. And I think it's because we're a product of the last century. And times have changed so much. You didn't buy stuff just to upgrade, to get the newest model. You bought stuff because you were, it was needed. What you had wasn't working anymore. I think all y'all do the same daggone thing. You might not realize it. Like I did. That's why this was such a good question, I thought. It made me look at myself and figure out why I do the stuff I do. Because I ain't got no daggone idea, man. I just do it. But I think it's a product of being from the last century and how people were raised. You didn't question it, you just done it. And it didn't matter whether you had $1 or how much or how little you had. Everybody done something similar. And we just carried that over. You bought used until you could afford new. If it broke, you fixed it. You made do and got by until you didn't have to anymore. And then, if you got to throw something away, first thing I do is strip it off of everything I think I might need later on, and then I toss it. It's just the way people were raised and lived back then. Me and Connie both get tickled over, or Connie and I, for you English professors out there. We both get tickled by how everybody claims stuff is frugal now, how it's become a buzzword and the hot thing to do. And to us, it's just living, man. You can call it frugal, you can call it strategic spending, or intentional spending, or cash, what do you call it? Heck, I forget. when you balance something against the cost. You know, to us it's just living. And it's probably the same for y'all. We've been doing it so long that we don't even think about it. It happens without me even realizing it. You know? And at the times that I do realize it, I probably don't give it no more than a minute or two's thought. But I don't know. And that's why, you know, I don't care if it's a water heater or a lawnmower or whatever. It's just the cost analysis. That was it. That was hanging in my mind. Ain't a whole lot up there, so I had to search for it. But you know, I mean, that's, to us, it's just living. And you're probably the same way, man. You know, things that were normal for everybody back when we was growing up has become, you know, a hot button item for people. And it just makes us laugh because we didn't realize what we was doing. We just did it because that's the way people lived. You know, the world has changed so much. But, you know, being frugal don't really mean that you, you know, you deprive yourself of anything. You just take it a minute to think about it before you make that jump. You know, you don't, you know, I mean, I don't know if being that way had anything at all to do with me being able to retire when I did, but I can tell you this, it makes the tough times a little bit easier and the good times a little bit better. It just does. You know, it's just, I mean, that's about all I can explain. The best way I can explain it. You know, it's like that rake I put on the front picture. You know, sometimes it gets me in trouble and I do stupid things, and that's stupid, man. I can go out and buy a daggone rake if I want to, but my first thought is to grab a piece of tape and wrap around the handle and fix it. I don't know why I'm like that. It's just the way life was back in the day. So, you know, your bottom line is important, but you know, life ain't all about the bottom line. You know, sometimes spending a few more dollars for something than your neighbor does for something is probably the most frugal thing you can do. You know, life's about balance, not just retirement. Spend a little, enjoy, but save a dollar here and there. You know, I ain't constantly searching for the best deal. When I go down and get me a bottle of Yoo-Hoo and a couple of donuts, yeah, I don't have to think about it. I just get it because I know it's not going to injure us later on. And somewhere, to be honest with you, in the back of my mind, I've probably run through the daggone calculation in my head and didn't even realize it. You know, that's one of them habits you do out of just because, or because you're because it's always what you've done, or it's because you needed to at one time or another, and it becomes a part of who you are. You do it so long, and it happens in the background. You don't even realize it. I don't, but that's the best I can figure. But hey, man, y'all take care of yourselves and make a good day out of it, man. Make it a beautiful day. It's a little overcast here, but it's nice. So I got some stuff I got to get done. Y'all take care of yourselves, and we'll talk to y'all later. Y'all close your ears.